Hey everyone, in this video today I want to talk with you a little bit about the difference between trap shooting barrels. I got the idea for this video from a commenter, so I appreciate that and thanks so much for that. So let's go ahead and get to it. I'm going to post this picture on your screen now, and you'll notice the top barrel in the screen is a double barrel, the middle one is a top single, and the lower one is an unsingle. So let's go ahead and let's talk about the difference between an unsingle and a top single. And by the way, the picture came from Krigoff's website, just so you know. The difference between a top single and an unsingle is kind of a little bit of a personal preference thing, if you will. What you see is some people say that the top single will take the cant out of the gun. The cant is simply, if you don't hold your gun straight up and down, you know, you're canted over one way or the other. That's what the cant is. People say that the top single will tend to take that out. I had a top single back on a Perazzi that I used to shoot, and I have a Krigoff unsingle now. And honestly, the unsingle that I have, I cant the gun less with that than I did with the Perazzi. So I can't personally say that a top single will help take the cant out of your gun. I know that I've heard people say that it does for them, so I think it's kind of a personal what works for you, you know, your build and your gun fit and everything. You just kind of have to experiment with that. The other thing, and I think that this one is true, is you'll see a lot of people will tell you that the recoil is less on an unsingle. And you know, I've shot the top barrel out of a double barrel before and the bottom barrel out of the double barrel, and I think that that's true. The top one will cause a little bit more recoil. It's not a whole lot, you know. I think it's true for the top single, unsingle slightly. It's not a tremendous difference. If your gun fits, you shouldn't be feeling a lot of recoil on a gun of this caliber. If it fits, you know, that's the key. Whenever I had the Perazzi, it didn't fit me very well, so I canted the gun more and everything. Now with the Krigoff, it fits me perfectly, so I don't have a lot of recoil, and obviously I have the precision fit stock on there as well to help out with the recoil, and I cant my gun a lot less than I did with the Perazzi. So it's going to be a gun fit thing. It's going to be a personal preference. The target presentation is slightly different between the two. I think that the unsingle for me helps me get my head up a little bit more and really see that target better. It's something you're going to have to experiment with and see what works better for you. It's going to be an individual build, individual fit thing and all of that. So let's go ahead and talk about the double barrel now. Let's talk about a double barrel for singles. That's a trend that I've seen a little bit more here lately, is you're seeing people use a double barrel for their singles game. And most of the time you'll see them use a 32-inch double barrel for that. I haven't seen a whole lot of people shooting a 30-inch one for singles. And I think that there is some truth to it. That's something that I'm going to personally experiment with a little bit and see if it helps me, because I think that singles, you know, you're looking at a lot smaller angle, a lot quicker shoot speed, if you will. For me, I shoot my singles a little bit quicker in my handicaps. So I want to test that theory out a little bit and see what I end up thinking about that. And I do think there is merit to it, because the 32-inch double barrel, it's big enough that from the 16-yard line you can still definitely control it very well, but it's short enough, you know, it's 2 inches shorter than the 34-inch unsingle barrel that I have. So I think it could potentially help out on, you know, making sure that I'm really, you know, getting a good follow through and getting in front of the target and everything. So I'm interested to check that out. And, you know, as far as using a double barrel for handicaps, I don't recommend it past, you know, the 23, 24 yard line. Once you get into long yardage, it's tough to shoot a double barrel. There have been a couple of shooters that have done it, but you know, most of your great handicap shooters, they use a 34-inch top single or an unsingle barrel, depending on which one they have. You know, you need that longer barrel for the most part. You do. There are a few exceptions to that rule, but you know, for the general trap shooting population, you need to make sure that you have the longer barrel. If you're shooting into that, you know, 23, 24 yard line and back, probably more to 24 yard line and back, especially long yardage, you have to make such a small, precise move that 34-inch barrel is going to help you out a little bit. So now let's talk about the difference between the 30 and the 32-inch barrels, double barrels for doubles. I have seen a few shooters and once again recently start shooting a 30-inch barrel for doubles, and it seems to have helped a little bit. I think it depends on your style of shooting and the person. I think that for some people it helps them get out in front of the target a little bit more. Maybe if you're a quick shooter it would help you a little bit because it'd be a little bit easier and quicker to move and everything. A guy like me, I shoot my doubles at a slower rhythm. I'm not up there going bang bang, and if I am, I'm not hitting very good at all. I'm not breaking good scores if I'm shooting that fast. So the 32-inch barrel works good for someone like me that has to slow down and really make sure that I'm staying in that groove and controlled. At the same time, I know a good double shooter that does shoot slow, but he shoots 30-inch barrel. So once again, it depends on what's going to fit you. And if you have an opportunity to shoot both before you buy, do it. I mean, you can gain so much information from just going out there and actually experiencing what each different type of barrel will do for you in your game, and then watching somebody shoot it, or hearing somebody tell you stuff. It's really great to have the opportunity to go try stuff out before you buy. So I hope that answers the question. If you were wondering what the difference in trap shooting barrels were, really my advice would be, like I said, just go try it, see what you think, see what works best for you. But that's some of the general guidelines, if you will, and general things that you'll see and experience whenever you're shooting them. So thank you so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up on the video if you liked it, and if you haven't already, be sure and subscribe to the channel. Thanks guys, and have a great rest of your day.